Hey guys, JC the Sniper again. And I figured since I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more just for fun. And this is the lanyard, little knife lanyards that I'm putting on my knives recently. And I'm going to talk about why I've been doing that. So basically, the reason I've done that, well, first of all, the first knife I put the lanyard on was my Cold Steel Spartan. Now, the reason I put that on there is because the way that you can deploy this knife, which is pretty fancy, is you can use the wave feature on this knife and catch it on your pocket and pop it open like that. Now, as you might imagine, being as this Spartan is just massive, here I'll put it up next to how about a Spyderco Endura? You can see there, I mean, it's huge. There's no comparison. It dwarfs an Endura, which is not a small knife. So it's huge. It's a pocket sword. The thing weighs like 9 ounces. I mean, it's just a monster. And the problem I was having was, pretend this lanyard isn't here. When I go to grab this, believe it or not, this grivery they put on here, you can see there the texturing. It's finely textured and it has these grooves in it, but honestly it doesn't grip that well. And in your pocket, you're gripping it here, you're only getting like that much stuff to grip. You just don't have a lot to grab onto. And you have to keep your hands, you got to keep your fingers clear of the blade. You can't clamp the blade or it won't come out right. And you'll lose your grip on it. So you got to grip it right here, and then you just don't have that much grip on that position to pull this huge freaking blade out of the handle and snap it open, and then you're holding it here trying not to lose your grip on the knife while you hold on to it. As you can see, that might pose a problem. Once you get up here, you're never letting go of it because of the finger choil. But this stuff is slick. So, experiencing that issue, I said, what can I do about that? And then I was like, well, it has a lanyard hole. I can try putting a lanyard on it. So that's what I did. I made this lanyard here, and I threw it on there, and it works great. So basically what happens with this lanyard is it dangles out of my pocket. So it just hangs on the outside of my pocket right there. And it does make the knife a little bit more noticeable. However, this is pretty innocent looking, and you're only seeing that much of this. So, this isn't really scary to see a little black thing poking out with a lanyard attached to it. In fact, it may make it a little bit less intimidating. I don't know. But it's nothing. It's pretty benign. It's nothing that people are going to look at and go, "Oh crap, that guy's got a sword in his pocket." So I don't think that's an issue. It just makes it a little. It draws attention to it, perhaps. So what ends up happening is when I go to grab the knife, I wrap my fingers around the lanyard like that, and I get a good grip on the lanyard as well. And basically I use more of the lanyard than my grip on the knife to pull the knife out. So I get a good grip on this lanyard here, and then I draw the knife, bam, and I've got a good grip just on the lanyard. I can let go of the knife, and I've still got a good grip, and it's not very likely that I'm going to let go. Even if I come down to here on the lanyard, I've still got a hold of it. So, it just allows me to get a really good purchase on the knife, and then shuffle up into that fighting grip, if you will. So I just found that worked really well. Snap the knife open, still got my good grip, pop up here, go to town. So that's why I put the lanyard on there originally. So then I figured, even though it's not nearly as big, as you can see here, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea on my Spyderco Resilience. Now, at first, it was mounted for tip-down carry, and then I wouldn't want a lanyard because it would just be in the way in my pocket. It'd be banging around down in there. But I put this little poor man's wave feature thing on there, and I was checking it out, and once again grabbing down here, and I was having the same thing going on where this finely checkered G10 is, it's okay grip wise, but it's not that great. So I wasn't having necessarily any problems popping it out without the lanyard, but the lanyard just gives me a much better feeling of security. So I went ahead and made another lanyard and threw it on there. Now I get a very positive grip on it. Once again, wrap my fingers in that lanyard, grip the base of the knife, pop it open, and you're ready to go. So I think for that purpose, the lanyards are excellent. Now, more than likely, I will never put a lanyard on my, this Endura has the same wave feature. However, when I draw this Endura, I'm gripping here, I can get my finger down in that clip, and I can get my fingers, pretty well wrapped around it when I pop it open. So it's not that big of a deal because the blade is not that huge, and I can get a real good positive grip. Now, of course, recently I've been trying the Pakal style of drawing my blade into a wearing this on my right pocket with the clip switch for left-handed carry, basically. So it rides this way, and I draw it up and wave it into a reverse grip with the blade facing towards me. And when I go for that, I come in behind it with my thumb like this, pop it out, curl my fingers around it. So it's just not an issue for knives this size. So really, I'll probably never put one on something like this. Even less likely to put one on my Spyderco Stretch, for instance. I don't know really. I mean, it's got a nice big lanyard hole. It's a large lanyard hole. But realistically, I don't know what I'd use a lanyard for on this. I mean, I guess were I working somewhere where it's possible that I might drop this blade, then yeah, I'd put a lanyard on there with a loop it around my hand to make sure that I maintain my hold on the blade while I'm working. And then if you drop it, it's attached to your wrist. So for something like that, I appreciate the fact that they've given it to me, but I'm probably not going to use it. Kershaw OD1, they give me a lanyard hole, albeit a very small one. Never going to put a lanyard on my OD1. I don't see a purpose in that, unless, once again, I was working somewhere high up where perhaps if I drop my blade and it falls, somebody's going to get hurt. Then I could see using it, but I don't do that, so I will never use that. However, as I said, for large knives, Resilience and Spartan being two fine examples, I think a lanyard does offer certain benefits, and if you haven't tried it, I think you ought to try it out. You might like it. JC the Sniper, signing off.